There we go. Okay, now in the top left corner, Onyx Cauldron, we have me spawning up in the top left. Guess I just said that. And Ikiniz in the bottom right. Ikiniz is going for a 3 mech start again. I'm going for a 5 mech start. I do this because I can get my economy going a little bit earlier. You'll also notice the placement of the factories. Now there's nothing particularly interesting about this placement of the factory, but you'll notice that I placed this factory here, right in the middle, and you might wonder why I do that. Well, honestly, it's just because that creates a natural choke point. Now, of course, you can have hovers or amphibs can go around this or whatnot, but spring would typically pass right through this area here. And so, as a result, that will take them right by my factory. Now, assuming that my macro slipped a little bit, I might have a bunch of units bunched up here. So, you know, it just gives me a little bit easier reaction. Okay, and so now we have Ikiniz. He's pushing out kites, kite raiders, and I'm actually pushing out with snakes. I forgot the unit name for a moment. Okay, and looks like I hit them in this pool here. And the reason I did that is because these units can fire underwater, so if hovers go over them, they will get murdered. And there we go. Almost lost one there. This is a little sloppy control, but I'm gonna pick up a free mechs. There's 20 free metal right there. And actually, I lost one of my snakes. It had very low hit points. So now, as you can tell, and actually I'm raiding around the back. I'm going to try to pick up some free mexes here. Probably not a very good chance of getting power plants. Typically with raiders like this, these raiders are designed to scout and fight other light units. And just act as point defense. They're not great versus buildings, so you have to be very choosy. Now mechs only have 500 hit points, power plants have 800. So while if you can get a power plant, it's very nice, but if you have to stay in one place too long, focus firing, snakes use a lot of energy to fire, because they're continuous and they do very high damage. You can actually see that it does 160 damage per second versus light. Now, while I'm taking care of some mexes down here, we've got Ikiniz. He's going through there, and see the pathing takes it right past my army. Now, I'm at a pretty big disadvantage here. I'm out of energy. I'm absolutely pegged. I just lost a whole bunch of units there. You could say needlessly. In fact, I would say needlessly. It was sloppy control. And he's going after my power or whatnot. That's not good for me. However, I do have power being put up here. So I'll have some backups if these go down. And in fact, I just lost my factory there. That's going to hurt me because all of a sudden I have no production. However, I do have more map control. My units are faster. My units do more damage. However, I have no production at the moment, so I'm very much on the back foot. I've got to rebuild my factory. Luckily, he didn't get my power plants, so I have those to help me out here. And my army isn't in great shape health-wise, but they're all right. And I'm going to pick up another free mex here. So this is good. I really need to get some storage up. I only have 300 energy storage right now, and it's dropping like crazy every time I do it. Now what Ikiniz can do here is he can EMP my entire army and clean it up in no time with his kites. So I'm pulling way back because I know that I pretty much have no chance versus that army. They would rip me to shreds. Okay, and so now I'm producing kites. Gonna get a little bit of dual unit action here. Now this is pretty bad for me because if Ikiniz goes for it, he can get 4 free mexes. That's 80 metal, not even breaking a sweat. And if these two armies clash, I'm severely outgunned here. That many kites, I just can't deal with it, not with snakes. However, if you can get close, you can do a decent bit of damage. However, it's just sloppy control on my part. No ducking, dodging, diving, none of that. Just straight up lost everything. So, I'm very much on the back foot here, and what's more, I've realized I'm completely screwed at this point. However, now I'm bringing my Overseer forward. Now what I can do with my Overseer is I can EMP his army, and that's exactly what's going to happen. These units get EMP'd, I'm going to pick up all those units for free. Also, I have teched up 2 bruisers, and there, I got 3 more tanks, all for free, so this is good. Now these drones are annoying. They only do about 2 damage per shot, and they can actually be shot down by kites, but they're very frustrating to deal with if you're in a situation like this. I'm obviously not in any kind of shape to handle this. However, on the economic foot of it, Ikiniz only has 4 power plants. He's got more metal extractors than I do. He only has 2 storage. That puts him up at 350. While I have fewer mexes, I do have more power input. I have 5, and I also have 9 storage plants. So that's putting me up at 700 metal. So that means that I can really stay in a fight. Especially with these higher tier units, these kites have absolutely no chance versus bruisers and kites. Bruisers, as you know, are light tank destroyers. They are designed to kill these things. And moreover, I have crushers in here now, and crushers are the heavy tank destroyers. They have 600 hit points and do 120 damage per shot. If you compare that to a kite, the kite has 240 hit points and only does 80 damage versus light. So since crushers are armored, they will only do 40 damage versus crushers. So this is real bad news for Ikiniz. Now, he is doing a great job of raiding and taking those out. That's really frustrating. I'm actually trying to move my Overseer into position so that I can EMP these and hopefully get some free kills. Now keep in mind, even if you only get a couple, it's generally pretty much worth it, because there's 20 metal there, 20, another 20, that's 60 metal down the drain right there. So you get a very good feel for these little engagements, so they matter. Moreover, when your commander or an orb is in range, this purple ring here will reclaim automatically any energy cores that are dropped. Now, my commander's down here by himself. He's capturing this metal extractor. Ikiniz has some raiders down there, and he's also hitting from the top. And this army will be able to clean this up pretty easily. However, down here, he's not really doing anything about my Overseer there. There he's finally attacking it. And these are heavy tank destroyers. They do 120 damage versus armored. And there's no way this Overseer is going to last. Fires off a last hurrah EMP, and I've lost my Overseer. That was a very sloppy move. That should never have happened. I should have had my Overseer in there. You can use the EMP to back out of situations like this, and losing that really hurts, because the engineers, while they are good and are effective, they are nowhere near as effective as the Overseers. Now, one thing I do have going for me is that I have a much higher tech tier army. In fact, I'm sorry, I need to adjust this volume. I tried to do it with spring ahead of time, but it always resets itself. It's quite frustrating. Okay, so my army is vastly superior to what he has right now, so I'm in good shape on that front. He still has a little bit better map control, my army is higher tier, therefore it's slower, can't move around as fast, but on the other hand, he's in the process of pretty much losing his entire army, so that's not going to help him out too much. Looks like he's going for mostly tank destroyers. Now, that's generally okay, except for the fact that you really need these kites and light raiders with your army, and that's because they give a huge sight radius. And these tanks, while they have the maximum sight that they can shoot, they may not fire as quickly. So it may take them a second to aim and react and everything like that. And I've gone and spawned a bunch of these drones. In fact, 24 of them, it looks like. And I'm just going and harassing metal extractors while trying to punch in his front door here. And now keep in mind, these drones only do a couple of damage per shot, but when you have that many of them, it really adds up. Now, I also have an orb with my army, which means that out of combat, my army will be replenished as far as hit points go, and also it will pick up any energy cores that drop, like that one there. So I'm getting free money off of this army every time something dies, including something of mine. I'm getting free resources here. I suppose it's not free if I paid for it initially, but anytime his units die, you're constantly picking up your outguns. So now he's moving an engineer forward. Unfortunately, he's going to lose it, but this is going to cause me to come back a little bit. I have no way to stop these drones, and like I said, while the damage is slight, it does add up. And you don't really want to go into battle with an army that's half dead. Also, these drone hits keep my units from being healed, so there we go. Now I've moved these 24 drones over. I'm attacking a nuclear power plant. You can see how fast that's going down, even from these low-powered drones. Now, if he loses this, he's, yeah, even says that he's in trouble. He doesn't have any anti-air, it doesn't look like. And I'm also pushing in from the front, so this is pretty bad news for him. And it looks like his energy's holding steady, so that's good. Mine is going way down. My army is way out-teched my energy, and in fact, I'm going to have to pull back, otherwise I'm going to start losing a bunch of these tanks. However, at this point, I believe I'm just kind of going for the kill. And at this point, I realize, oh wait, he's still got tanks coming up here. And so I have to pull back a bit. But at the same time, my little drones are doing some work here. I've got 25 of them now. Now, I can still have really good metal income. Now, pretty much all he would have to do is build one spewer, one anti-air tank, and it would take care of all these little drones here pretty quick. And I imagine he's probably going to have one coming up fairly soon, I would think. Oh, okay, he built a anti-air turret. Okay, so that took care of a lot of them. There we go. Unfortunately, at this point, my economy is vastly outmatching his. I've got my second nuclear power plant on the way, and I have all this storage. Now, this storage is honestly what kept me going this entire time. I was not doing so well in the beginning, as you can see. I was very much outmatched, but that storage allowed me to stay in the game. Now, I can see these energy cores being reclaimed, and I also remember from when I was playing the game, I saw that orb coming in there and I wanted to get a free kill. Now, orbs are not cheap. They are 30 metal a piece, so to put it in perspective, that's the cost of a bruiser. You would think that on a larger scale, these costs don't really matter, but they add up quickly. you have so much unit turnover during the entire game that little things like that, especially when they're units that are so important, such as the orb. Now since he doesn't have one, he won't have anything to assist his factory in production, which is very bad because he's got a metal excess. So he could pump out a really formidable army quite quickly. He's got his nuclear power plant back up. So he could definitely do some damage. Now, that said, my army is still bigger, but bigger does not mean better in Evolution RTS. Now, he does have the, I suppose, bad problem of the fact that I have so much storage. So you can see when my units start shooting there, my energy bar is stabilizing. It goes down really quick when everything first fires, but it's being able to stabilize pretty quickly. Unfortunately, he only has roughly about half the energy storage that I do, so it makes it a lot harder to stay in a fight. Now he sees this turret here, and he's going to go around the side. I'm not sure why he's going to do this. He can see this, but oh boy. And unfortunately, he just kind of pretty much accidentally his entire army there. And I did not actually see that when I was playing. He built a hover bomb and was sending it towards my units. Unfortunately, not going to have much luck with that. Now I am going to be able to waltz in here and pretty much take over this whole base. This is pretty much GG. And it was a very good game. I honestly thought I had lost in the beginning, but that's just kind of the way it goes. I made a lot of very sloppy mistakes with my unit control. I lost my army several times when good God knows what the hell I was doing. Lost my overseer, which that is a big deal. The problem is when you lose your overseer, you lose one of the most important tools of the game, because the EMP that the overseer has is extremely important, because you can include your overseer with your army and you can EMP the lighter units. Pretty much anything with anything that is light and under 1,000 hit points. And so unfortunately I lost mine, and that's a pretty big mess up. But on the other hand, I can stay on low-tech units like raiders for so long that I was able to get my army back up. Now he does have another factory going up here. I'm not sure what he's going to produce out of here. Maybe some more kites. And looks like I can push in. See that? Yep, there's still a turret there. And you can see here, even from all these crushers, this barricade is still regenerating faster than I can kill it, for the most part. But think about how much energy this is taking in order to kill these barricades. So, you know, that's 12 energy, or I'm sorry, that's 6 energy every shot. So. Looks like he's about to lose his overseer, and honestly, I need to come up with some formal like GG screen or something for replays for when games are very much over like this. In spring, it's pretty common not to GGs per se. It's pretty common to either resign or to give your enemy all your units, or self-destruct all your units, or something like that, or even fight to the death. It's not considered bad manners like it is in other games such as StarCraft. So, you know, it's just one of those things. However, if you're spectating it and commenting on it, then then it can get a little long, I suppose. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I will cast some more games in the future. Tomorrow is, and I say tomorrow, for some of you it's probably today, but on Sunday, GMT, 6 p.m. GMT, which is 10 a.m. in Pacific time, 12 p.m. Central. We have Evolution RTS Game Day, where essentially we just get some people together, we play some games, preferably some team games, because most people are pretty new to the game, so you know, they like being able to have allies to rely on, stuff like that. And we'll have these 1 versus 1 games that we do. So yeah, definitely show up if you'd like to give the game a try if you've never played it. You know, you can also check out the wiki at wiki.evolutionrts.info, and hopefully I'll see you there.